Hey guys, welcome back to the third video. So the first video we covered first action step, which is doing a body scan, tracking your calories for a week and then merging the two data and looking at what needs to be implemented. Second thing, on the second video we went through habits and how to pretty much put that all into practice. Now in this video we're going to go over tracking that, right? So progress checking, because as we do things over time, we want to make sure we are actually making progress. And that's the whole point of this. Like, we want to be able to know, am I on track? Am I doing the right stuff? If not, what do I have to change? And if so, how can I do more of that so that I can fast track my results? Because sometimes we'll do things and we need to tweak them. Actually, most times we're doing things and we need to tweak them along the way to make sure that we actually stay consistent. And one thing I see a lot is that we can get a little bit self-conscious doing scans or doing progress checks because we don't want to know that if we don't want to know if we're not on track, because it hurts, it's painful when we know that we're not achieving our goal. But I feel like the best thing we can do is get that feeling of failure like out of our heads, because technically speaking there is no failure here. Okay, no matter what happens. Say if you jump on the scan, you jump on the body scanner, right, and you've been thinking you're on track doing the right stuff, but you've gained a couple kilos, right? You may feel like a failure when you're doing that. It may be super painful. You might be like, oh my God, nothing's working. I gotta do something. But what we've done there is we've now learnt something, okay? And what we have to do now is break down, okay, cool, what have we been doing that may have been pushing us in a bit of a wrong direction? Or better yet, maybe we've gained 3 kilos, but we've gained 3 kilos of muscle, right? That's another good thing about doing the scan. The amount of times I have seen people that have lost no weight in kilos jump on the body scanner and they've been heartbroken because they feel like they've done all this stuff but they haven't made any progress. Then they jump on the body scanner and they've lost the same amount of kilos in fat and then gained it back in muscle, so that their body weight actually has stayed the same, but their body composition has changed dramatically. Like, the amount of times that happens is wild. And if we're not doing these checks because we're getting paranoid or we're thinking, oh, I don't want to look at that, I don't want to see it, I don't want to see, then we're not going to know if we're on the right track. Okay, so like progress does this. Like, for it to be like this, that's, I wish, all right? But it's gonna do this, and we're gonna be okay with that. And that's fine too. Like, some days you'll be like this, some days you'll be down here, and then some days up here, and then down here. But like, as it goes all the way up, you'll eventually get to the top. Okay, but we want to know if we are on the right track. It'd be like, but before, I guess, technology was around and there was like maps, it'd be like looking at the map once and be like, okay, cool, I'm gonna drive here. All right, don't need this anymore. I know where I'm going, we're good. And then you veer off track. And then it's not until you look at it again, you're like, oh my God, we're going the wrong way. Why didn't I look at this earlier? I could have just done that and then figured out I could have taken this turn and then I would have been back on track. Like, that's pretty much what this is about. So doing these progress checks and making sure that we are on track, that's what's going to get us up here. That's what's going to get us to the goal. But if we do this first part and we think we're staying consistent and we think we're doing the right stuff, but our tracking says otherwise, then we're not on the right track. And then from there, it's like, okay, cool, sweet. What do we actually have to do? And a lot of times there's small little tweaks that we just have to implement that are going to get us back on track, all right? Maybe you, like, calories got wrong, or maybe it's like, okay, cool, sweet. I'm still super stressed out with work and life, that now my cortisol levels are through the roof. Like, I need to start recovering. I need to be able to chill out more because I'm so stressed out all the time. Like, maybe there's little things along the way that we can look at and we can identify and then we can work on, instead of being like, no, don't want to look at it. I just want to know when I've achieved my goal. Like, that takes a lot longer than regularly checking and then saying, okay, cool, sweet. Yes, cool, I've lost some weight. What have I done well? How can I do that even better so that I can fast track my results even further? Okay, looking at it like that, best way to do it. So I don't mean check every single day, you know, doing your body scans when we have the body scanner in and we're like, cool guys, jump on the scanner, do a check, have a look at it, and then we can see the results. And then not being heartbroken when, say, it says, okay, cool, we've lost our way a little bit. Let's look at it, let's reassess. What have we learnt from this? Like, what have we learnt? Okay, cool. Maybe having protein is actually important in my diet. Maybe I shouldn't cut it out. Or maybe maybe when I eat healthy on the weekend, but then I binge on the weekend. So maybe if I eat healthy on the week, during the week, and then I binge on the weekend, maybe that's what's messing me up. Like looking at that and being like, yes, that is. So let's look at that and let's tweak that around, and then make the little changes we have to make so that we're back on track and then we're actually achieving the goal. So this one's pretty short because I just want to make sure that we're all aware of how important it is to make sure we are tracking our progress and making sure that we are being aware of where we are at and why it's so important. Because if we don't know if we're doing the right stuff or if we are on track, then after a year's time, we may think we're doing the right stuff, or we may think we're doing everything perfectly, but if we get to that 12 months and then we're not happy with where we're at, then we're like, oh, if only I had done that scan after that second month, I would have been able to see this, or if only I had done this, I would have been able to know. Like looking at it like that, it's so much easier to just be like, okay, cool, sweet, looking at it, okay, something doesn't add up, what do I have to change? Let's change it, let's try that, let's do that. It's all a learning process. But one big thing I do want you to note that when you jump on the scanner, if it doesn't say what you're hoping it says, don't look at that as a failure. Look at that as a learning opportunity, because now you've learned, okay, cool, sweet. Something isn't adding up in this equation. What do I need to tweak? And then looking at that, cool, bing, I've learned, I've grown, I'm progressing, I'm learning more. So now I know, okay, cool, sweet. I've got to, instead of doing that, let's do this. Or instead of this, let's do that. So looking at it like that. But long story short, tracking progress is the best way to ensure that we are staying on track. So look, in a nutshell, the big three, it's knowing where our body's at the moment, knowing what we have to change. So tracking everything that we're doing in the week calorie-wise and what we're eating, looking at our calorie recommendations, comparing the two, finding the tweaks that we have to tweak, and then building on habits to implement that and make those action steps as easy as possible for us to implement so that we're pretty much guaranteed to do them. And then the next thing is making sure that we still do them, but then track along the way to make sure that they are the right things that we're doing. And then we can just do that over and over and over again. And you'll find that once you start making progress, the motivation is there. Usually what happens is when we're achieving and we're achieving results, we're motivated, right? But the moment we say we're not achieving the results, and maybe it's because we don't know what we're doing wrong. We look at the scanner, it's like, oh, I'm not making results. Boom, motivation takes a deep dive, and we feel like we're doing nothing right and everything's a failure. But looking at it differently, like little tweaks. This is little tweaks, and then utilizing your support circle with that, which is what we're here for. Like whenever there's a question that pops up, if you're listening to any of these videos and you're like, Callum, this makes no sense, let me know. Let us know so that we can sit down with you and we can break it down so it fits into your lifestyle. Because everyone's different. Some people have a lot more time to be able to implement that into their health and fitness. Some people are super busy, single mums that work full time that are like, I don't know how they do it, but that compared to someone that has all this extra time, there are going to be different things to implement and different habits to create that are still going to make it possible, but things are a little bit different. So looking at it like that, and if you do get stuck or you are a bit unaware or you are a bit unsure, let us know so we can sit down with you and we can work out a bit of an action plan to make sure that you can do this consistently and you can achieve your results, okay? So thanks for listening. If you do want to see other videos like this, please let me know. I really enjoy filming this kind of stuff because I know that there are a lot of people out there that do find value in this one-on-one stuff, and it's always hard to find set times with everyone's schedules to be able to do this. So that's why I like doing it here, because now you can watch this in your own space and still get a bit of learning out of it too. So please let me know, and also please let me know what you do want to see. Because if there's other stuff that I haven't filmed yet that you do want to see, let me know.